Salute, salute. I'm back from vacation, back from my hiatus. Back with the Queen. Knicks and Bruises. Your blackest time. What's going on, Queen?
Everything is good, man. I have to say I missed you. We didn't do the show. Um when you was away, I was like, damn, Monday, you was still chilling. So I'm glad you back.
I'm gonna say this. Jet lag is real. I never experienced it until this trip, and yeah, I was exhausted coming home, and I had to spend some time with my daughter. Hadn't seen her for 10 days or so. So
Mhm.
um, but it was great trip. I recommend anyone who has never been to Vegas, go experience it. I will say this though, do 2 days, 2 or 3 days. Don't
Wow.
spend 5 days there. Don't spend a week there. um,
Do you get bored? Like, do you run out of things to do?
you run out of money. It's what you, it's what you, it's what you
Okay.
do.
Okay.
Food is delicious. I'm not a gambler either, so I could only imagine if I was, or the people who are, because you know, I mean, I didn't run out of money, but I can see how someone can,
Hmm.
and especially if you gamble and you're not lucky.
Right.
I could definitely see how you can,
Yeah.
and I went with a few gamblers, so um, I could have spent
Yeah.
a lot more than I did, but it was definitely worth it. I also went to California after, and I wish I did it in reverse. I wish I spent the majority of the time in
Yeah, no
Oakland,
doubt.
San Francisco,
Ooh.
and then 2 days
Yeah.
in Vegas. But I live and I learn,
Yeah.
and I lived.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was great. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk Knicks. I missed the majority of the games. I'll be honest. I had my phone off, and I took a break. I like to do that every now and again, clear
Hmm.
my mind. Don't worry
Hmm.
about Twitter and anything else. Um, so what did I miss? Let's start there. I saw the win against the Clippers.
Hmm.
I missed the three losses, and I saw the win last game. So if you could just inform me on those three
Sure.
losses.
Sure. Sure. The Cleveland loss went down to the wire. We lost on the last second shot by Julius. A, a fade to black shot, like fading all the way into the stand, so to speak. But I thought we hustled. We was in that game. I mean, Mitch didn't play that game, if I remember correctly, but Jared Allen also didn't play that game. And we were right in there, but Love dropped 20 points, grabbed like 11 rebounds. He like reverted to his old
Ke-
self.
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love for real. And but we was right there. And then Miami, that game, I don't know what happened. It was like a different team. No hustle, no fight, nothing. That game was atrocious. We lost. And then we played Milwaukee. I gotta be honest, I didn't see the second half of uh the Milwaukee game because I fell asleep on it. That game
Mm.
started at 10 o'clock. I'm not sure why. Milwaukee, it started at 10. And I got to prioritize sleep. But anyway, I just fell asleep. I was trying to stay awake. We lost, but from what I understood, the effort was so. They had a 16-point lead. I believe we cut it to like 8 or 9, but we was never really a threat. Like they led from start to finish, basically. And Giannis, 38 points. I don't know if he had a triple double, but it was close. It
Mm.
was close to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
RJ
everything.
still playing well, even though he had a bad game the last game. And Randall is up and down. Like some
Mm.
games, like the last game, he looks engaged, he looks good, and then other games, I don't know what to say.
So yeah, I didn't get to watch much, but every now and again I'll turn my phone on, take a peek, look at the box score, not the box scores, but look at the score, the outcome. Um, and also I was in Vegas, so I could see the sports shows and the sports betting and
Hmm.
everything else. So I knew the outcomes. I just didn't get to watch most of it, but I did see a lot of headlines. While I was gone, a lot of more the Knicks willing to trade Randall talk.
Hmm.
Um, Randall reiterating that he wants to be here, wants to be a part of the success, which I actually do love to hear.
Right.
It's spread throughout ESPN as well. what's his name, Swagoo and Perk had a little segment where they talked about Randall needing to be traded. At least that was Perk's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
perspective. But they had some very interesting things to say that I agreed with 90% of it. I don't think he needs to be traded, but the things that they did say other than that, I agree with as far as the pouting. Shout out to Spree. I've been trying to reach out to Spree because I wanted to get him back on here just to give him his flowers because he's been talking about Randall's attitude and pouting and demeanor and mannerisms for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wanted to give him some credit on it because
Mm-hmm.
it's becoming a bigger topic
No
than
doubt.
than I thought it was originally. Um,
Yeah.
so what I want to do today is trade not trade them. Well, it's basically Sims section segment of was it trade them or dump, keep them or dump them. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying buyers or sellers. Same premise, and we're gonna go through a couple players and not necessarily come up with trade scenarios, but do we sell them? Or, I don't even like using that to be honest. So we we gonna we we gonna say keep them or trade them. We gotta
Okay.
keep it like that.
Okay.
So let's start with Randall, and we'll work our way across the board.
Sounds
Um,
good.
so yeah, your thoughts on Randall, trade him or keep him, and I'll let you lead.
This is a tough one for me. There is a soft spot in my heart for Randall, just because of what he did last year. I got to be honest about it. It doesn't mean I don't see what's going on this year. His lack of efficiency, the pouting, the sometimes not being engaged. I definitely see it. But in my heart of hearts, I'm hoping that Andy says 28 stays. In my heart of heart, I'm hoping that there's something going on that could be corrected. And that I don't know if he returns to last year, but that he becomes a 2020 guy in his role.
Mhm,
Maybe not a number one, but a number two, like a big part of this team. If what we're seeing now though is what it's gonna be, then I'm okay with trading him because this is just not sustainable. Um,
mhm,
like I always say, if your effort is there, some days that's going to be 20, sometimes that's going to be 30, some days that's going to be 20. I mean 10, but your approach is the same, your energy is the same, you're doing the same thing. It just nets you different things on different days.
mhm,
I'm okay with that. I'm just not okay with one day he looks very engaged, he's ready to play, he's taking good shots, he's making quick decisions, and then another game I call him the whole Harlem Globetrotter, where he's just passing around. He's not looking to score. And at the end of the night, he took 9 shots. I can't. I can't. So I know that's kind of a complicated answer, but I just feel like if he returns close to form,
mhm.
I would love to keep him. If this is what it's going to be, then I think we gotta let loose.
All right. I got somewhat of a complicated answer as well, though. I
Okay.
agree with pretty much everything you said. I'll add this: if I'm the Knicks, I'm not shopping him.
Mm,
I think shopping him devalues him. I think
right.
shopping him is not going to net you the biggest return.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're not now, some people will argue this, but if we're not bringing in someone better, I think we're lottery bound,
No
like
doubt.
easily. There's some people that believe the team performs better without him and such and this and that. I'm not one of those people. He does make it tough also because of what he did last year. What he endured his first year, sticking it out, getting better, and then showing improvement the following year. To me, that's huge. Now,
Right.
granted, he's dealing with it again now. He's taken a step back, But to me, it's mainly about efficiency. I think efficiency changes everything. I think if he was shooting 10 percentage points better from the field and 5 from three, I think his numbers are identical to last year, maybe even better. It's just such a drastic drop in his efficiency. I think that's what's hurting him the most. Obviously, turnovers as well, but we're gonna have to live with that with
Right.
whomever the number one option is, and then obviously, free throws, late game situations, just being smart then. But I wouldn't shop him, but nobody's untradeable.
No doubt about it. But
I'd make
Tone,
I make
oh, go
people
ahead,
give up.
finish.
I'd make people give up. Come to us with the offers, and look at it that way, and then maybe finagle or renegotiate the trade option. But I
Hmm.
think shopping him, you're automatically gonna get lowballed on what they're willing to give up in return, at least initially. Now go ahead.
I think it's more than efficiency. I think that's true. I think the efficiency is not there, but the effort is not there consistently either. Like you could do the same things each and every game, and for whatever reason, your shot is not falling this year. I get it. But something else is off. Like
Hmm.
something else is off that I can't put my finger on. So it's not just he's missing shots. Something else is off, Tone. I don't know if it's, and it's not even just what happened with the fans, because what was off to me was even before that incident with the
Hmm.
fans. He just wasn't engaged 100%. I don't know if he never took to the changes that was made.
Hmm.
We brought in Kemba and Fournier, but it was even before the whole STFU thumbs up, thumbs down incident.
Hmm.
He just hasn't been the same.
I agree. Again, well, not again. Excuse me. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you
Yes.
guys. David L. Karen Fung. Who else we got? Frank
Mhm.
Matthews. Uh, Queen. I see you. Andrew. You said Andy was in here. Andy, if you're
Yeah,
in here,
he's still in here.
appreciate
Yeah.
you. Man, child. Geraldine. I apologize. I had the week off. I'm already bad at shouting you guys out and saluting you
Yeah.
guys. I always gotta pull you guys up. So appreciate you. Still Knicks fan. I see you. And then
Definitely.
Queen, as always, if you want to put a comment up,
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
feel free. Jared
Yeah.
Jackson, gonna cook Randall. Oh, I hope not. But to your point, and again, Swaggle and Perks, they kind of said the same thing
Hmm.
as far as the Knicks brought in what they thought he needed as far as help with on the offensive end, and they weren't sure, or they actually said he hasn't allowed them to help him. He's kind of he hasn't adjusted to them. He kind of was still trying to play that same role as last year.
Hmm.
And, I think I said that a couple of months ago as well. He has to adjust as well,
Hmm.
and I think that's more of what the early issues were. Turmoil didn't help, and his responses to it. But again, I think it's still a learning process for him, and I wouldn't abandon him. I wouldn't trade him just to trade him. I don't think he's become a cancer. I think he does need to change a lot of his ways. And
Hmm.
then again, shout out to Spree, because I think that mannerism, the gestures, the
Hmm.
pouting, I think that's more detrimental than him actually having some bad play and bad moments, or
No
not
doubt.
playing up to par. I think that hurts the rest of the team. The young guys see that. The budding stars like RJ see that. You don't want that to rub off. So if there's one thing that I think he could work on and fix, is kind of controlling that and keeping that invisible.
Right. What I'll say to that, And happy birthday, Tony. I didn't know it was your birthday. Happy belated birthday.
Wait a second. Who told you that?
It was
Or
somebody
who's
kept saying happy birthday in
yeah.
our chat, and then somebody just put it on the
I
in
appreciate
this chat.
I appreciate the love. My birthday's in December. I don't know
Yeah, somebody
I don't know
said so.
who started that.
Well, they did say
Um,
belated.
hey, I'll take it, and I appreciate it. Still Knicks fan. Yeah, I see you. Now my birthday is in December. But I appreciate the love. I've been seeing it on Twitter, and then a couple text messages. Oh, I know it was your birthday. Happy birthday. I'm like, my birthday's in December. But
Okay.
again, appreciate that love, and in December, I'm gonna be looking for it now too.
Right, 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 right. I mean, what I will say, I agree. Well, I don't agree about Randall or any top player on the team rubbing off on a young player. I just feel like when you at this level in the NBA, you got to be about your business, and whether Randall is doing what he's doing or not, you know what you're supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? So this idea that, oh, I see Randall loafing, I'm a loaf too. You could be loaf your way right out the league. Randall just
Hmm.
signed a $117 million contract. What you got? I think young people on the NBA level
Hmm.
are smart enough to know what they should be picking up and what they need to leave behind. Now, I could see them getting upset with Tibbs internally
Hmm.
that, wow, you letting this guy get away with all of this
Hmm.
and you trying to hold our feet to the fire. So I could definitely see them like, yo, there's something about this ain't right. But rubbing off to the point where you're not going to do what you're supposed to do because I don't see that happening. I just
Two,
don't see it.
two things before
Mhm,
before we move on, but
mhm.
I want you to respond. Um, Instead of rubbing off, let me rephrase that and say like rubbing the wrong way. So let me
Mhm.
preface by saying that because
Right.
they may not pick up the behavior,
Right.
but being being in the presence of it, that kind of devalues or degrades the morale of the team. You know what I mean?
It can. Mhm.
It may make you less approachable over something you see on the court, particular play that
Right.
happened. You may not even want to say, Randall, do this, or
Right.
Randall,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be here when this happens. So you may not even want to do that because you see his demeanor, you see
Right. No
see his
doubt. I agree
so
with that.
so
But I think they learn what to do because I've heard plenty of rookies say, "This guy helped me out, and I know what to do." And then I've also heard people say that so and so wasn't friendly or whatever, and I learned what not to do.
hmm. Hmm.
And then when they get that opportunity, they different toward the rookies or whatever than the vets were toward them. So it can happen both ways.
Hmm.
But I agree with you. If he was effervescent, it could help lift the energy of the team. But I just don't want to use that as an excuse for a player not to do what does that make sense? Like,
No, no, you're right, but it makes it harder. You
it
ever
makes
you
it
ever
harder.
you
I
ever you
agree.
ever worked
It
with
makes it
somebody
harder.
that
Makes
their
it harder.
energy is not right,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Mm-hmm.
may not affect your personal work, but
Right.
it affects the
That
energy in
it,
the room.
no doubt
It, it,
about it.
you,
No
you
doubt.
know what I mean?
But you still know that I got to do what I need to do. But I agree, it is harder. It is
And then
harder.
just on the flip side of the last comment you had made, as far as the players feeling a certain way towards Tibbs, the only reason I disagree with that is because I think the star player is always going to get some type of preferential treatment, right? So if you're in the NBA, I think as a guy who is not that guy yet, you
We know
have to
how it
know,
is.
what I mean, or
Yeah.
or who
No.
was that guy, maybe in college, high school, whatever,
Yeah.
another team,
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
you know you already know what it is. So
And you know what? You're so right. And I hear fans say that a lot. Oh, Tibbs is treating this one different. Yeah. The guys he trusts, he gives a longer leash than the young plays. I'm not saying they're not gonna play, but they get, oh, he not holding this one accountable, but he's holding this one accountable. Yeah, because the star players usually get a longer leash. You may not agree with it, but Tibbs is not the only one that does that.
All right, let's move on from Randall. We 20 minutes in, and we got a double header coming. So,
That's right. The crossover at 5:30.
that's right. Let's see. Who we gonna go with? I think we're gonna agree. RJ is keep him. No, we don't even gotta go there
Unless it's something, everybody is tradable for the right price.
But 100%.
In terms of shopping, no, I'm not shopping RJ.
All right, let's switch it up then. Let's name who we think we should shop
for RJ, or just in general?
On the team. Who should we shop? Let's cut some of the fat off.
All right, I'm gonna put it this way. It depends on which direction we're going, and I'm not trying to be complicated. If we're staying on our same trajectory, whereas we're going to keep Randall, we think that he's going to play better. We're trying to be a perennial playoff team, and then when the right moves come up, make those so that we can go, so in other words, keep building, right? We're not trying to take a step back, right? And that situation, this is why it's so hard, Tony. We don't know what Randall is. You understand what I'm saying? This is an easy question. If this is the Randall from last year, I would say all of the young guys. Not that I wouldn't trade all of them, but I would trade 2 or 3 to get Randall some help. The way he's playing now, do we still go with that same strategy to get him some help, or do we move off of him and take a step back? So you say stick with the same strategy. Okay, so if we're sticking with the same strategy, I would be open to trading Obi. Not that he's not a good player, not that he's not going to be a good player. I think he is. He's playing behind Randall. They're not going to play a small ball lineup. How much minutes is he going to get? If we're going to keep him, if we're going to continue to build, right? And everybody, please understand the contingencies before y'all start jump. Then yeah, let's get a point guard. I would be open to trading Quickly, only because I see Quickly as a scorer off the bench. Now he is playing backup point guard. Don't get me wrong, I get it, but I see him as that scorer off the bench, and I feel like Grimes can do that. I think Grimes, he doesn't play the point guard position, but he can be that scorer off the bench for us and play really good defense. And shout out to IQ, who's been playing good defense as well. I would be open to trading those guys, and not that I don't like them, but if we're staying the course with Randall, and I don't know if that's a great idea, but if we're doing that, I would be open to trading those 2 guys. Anybody else young? I would be open to putting McBride in the trade too. I would be open. It wouldn't be a centerpiece, but if I would be okay with that. Yeah.
See, this is why I think our chemistry is so good, because we like you say it, I'm thinking it. The only thing I would change is I would lead with Kemba.
I forgot about Kemba.
But those guys would probably be the sweeteners or the pieces that make the Kemba move work.
Right.
But I agree 100%. And again, it's not because I don't like those guys, and I'm not against the opposite direction with the youth movement. I'm not against that at all. So if they were gonna move Randall, I just think I know that means we're taking a step back. We're talking about being play in at best for the near future. You know what I mean? For the next couple of years.
Where if we go young?
Yeah.
Nah, no playing. I don't even think we
At best,
at best. At
at
best. Okay.
best.
Okay.
Like that's playing would be our season last
Ceiling.
year, like
Ceiling. Yeah.
fourth seed. Like, oh,
Right.
we nobody believed we could have done that. That would be the play in. You know what I mean? But that's
Hmm.
at best.
At best. Right.
So, and again, enduring what we've endured over the over the course of being Knicks fans, I'm not opposed to that, knowing that the future is still bright, and we're not in a position where we can't make moves if we wanted to or if we
Right.
needed to.
Right.
So I'm not opposed to that at all.
Right.
But I think for right now to continue success, to kind of itch back to where we were last year,
Hmm.
I think we need a point guard more than anything else. We need somebody. He doesn't have to be the number one option, the number one go-to guy. If he is, he is. But we need a guy who's gonna demand the respect of Randall, and Randall's gonna let him facilitate or control the offense and the way things move.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say about, I would feel much more comfortable. um, Okay, I would feel much more comfortable if what we're seeing with Randall was just about his game. I would feel much more comfortable holding on to him and still building with him. But I'm and well, let me maybe you disagree. I'm seeing some mental stuff.
Mm.
And I don't know, like a lot of people say I don't that he's not built for New York. I don't know if that's it. I'm wondering if there's something going on that we don't know about. But mentally is the issue with me with Randall. That's making me pause. Not necessarily how bad he's playing or his inefficiency.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Man, I don't think it's a. I think it is a mental thing, but I don't think it's something that he can't overcome.
Okay.
I think he's done it already. Like this year is not as bad as his first year here.
Really?
It's I don't. It's
I
not.
wasn't on Twitter.
It's on.
Maybe that's why.
It's only as bad. It's only
Mhm.
bad because of the year in between.
Mm,
He's not playing as bad as his first year. Like he's obviously a better person, a better player than he was his first year. And I think the criticism his first year was way worse. I think he can overcome whatever his even. It could be mental, but I think he can overcome it. I think he's mentally tough. I think he proved that from year one to year two. So I'm not gonna jump back and say, oh, he can't handle it or he's not built for New York. I think especially with him under contract with this extension, I think it's good for him. Like it's another learning experience from him. And on top of that, if we keep him again back to Swaggle and Perk, if if you endure the tough times in New York and then like look at the change in the attitude of the fans from year one to year two.
mm-hmm,
Now, granted, let's say year three ends up bad, like
mm-hmm,
completely. We don't turn it around. Whatever, however, not playoffs, play in, first round exit, whatever it is, it's not good. But then he comes back next year and makes the type of improvements that he did from year one to year two.
mm-hmm.
Where's that gonna put him status wise? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and
So
that
don't
only
give up on
happens
him
in New
too
York.
early.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the fact that bringing somebody else has to come, right?
Yeah.
Now he has the experience that whomever this new guy is coming in, that may be the number one option, to you know what I mean, whatever option he is. But now he has somebody to lean on that's
Mhm.
been through it in New York. The good,
Right.
the bad, the ugly.
Right.
I think that's what these years are. I think this is the ugly. I think
Yeah.
last year was the good. I think first year was the bad. And I think he could bring it back to the good again. Legion, peace, salute,
Yeah. Definitely. Shout
appreciate you.
out Gmo. Nick's Real Talk. Divine. Appreciate you. Uh,
My guy.
Sergeant Nix from the Park Couple. I appreciate you. Appreciate everybody rocking with us today. Don't forget the crossover is at 5:30. We will be back talking Obi. If they move Randall, is Obi ready to start? So we're going to be talking about that on the crossover. It seems like this is the crossover, but it's not. This is Knicks and Bruises, and then we'll do the crossover next.
Mitchell Robinson, fifth all
Oh,
time in Knicks blocks, right?
oh,
In year four. In year four, I remember year two. I think he was in the top 10,
mm-hmm.
and that was something I was praising. Like, how do you get into the top 10 in 2 years? Like
Yeah.
that is a significant stat, a significant milestone. Shout out to Milestone Mitch. That's what I'm calling him today. Milestone Mitch all day. Let's see if he can keep it up. He's a guy, I've been on record. I don't want to move per se. I think he brings an element that is a rarity in this league as far as his defensive ability. As much as people talk about what he lacks, I'll say it again. I think if he continues to improve at what he does best, he's still
Mm-hmm.
a 10-year professional.
No doubt about it. This is what I'll say. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you good. You good. I was laughing. I was smiling at
Milestone
a
Mitch. Is that
console.
because he broke the record? He's now fifth place on the shot blocking list for the New York Knicks. He just passed Marcus Camby, who
Correct.
was at the Knick game looking good. Marcus Camby. Yeah, he looked really good. Um, this is another tough one. This is another tough one because there was an article in the Athletic about how Tibbs liking these rim protectors that don't have a lot of offense and how that clogs up the lane for Julius and how that has something to do with his inefficiency. But he was efficient last year in the same situation. That being said, um, the other thing is if Mitch is not going to have much offense, then I feel like he needs to be elite defensively. Like you need to be like Rudy Gobert type
Mm-hmm.
to kind of cover up for those deficiencies. That being said, the past few games, I saw a finger roll. Did you see that? He put the ball on a finger roll, and there was another one a few games ago as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, if that's like an indication of what's to come, maybe because I feel like the better your offense is, you still got to be good defensively. You don't necessarily need to be elite. If your offense is terrible, like we can't expect much out of you, then you need to be elite. I need to see like 12 points off of alley oops and putbacks and like 15, 17 rebounds, 2 to 3. Like you got to be elite.
Let me ask you this: Has
Mhm.
has Mitch has Mitch been given enough time? Let me not say given enough time. Has Mitch been in the league long enough to reach Rudy Gobert status? Because
I don't
I
think he
think
has
I
yet.
think he
Mhm.
can, but I
Mhm.
think we got it. It's gonna take him a couple more years. You
The
know what I
thing
mean? To
about it, we got to make a decision now. That's the
hmm
issue.
hmm
That's the issue. I would like to see him for another year or two. But you know what? The other issue is that what if he's a unrestricted free agent? What if
hmm
he doesn't sign with us? That's a risk. Like we talking about should the Knicks sign him?
hmm
What if he signs with somebody else?
I agree. I mean that's the risk of not signing him. Before the season ends. That's the risk they're taking. I would hope. I would hope they're in heavy communication as these months pass.
Right.
I would hope they're gauging what he's looking for, what they expect from him, how much of that growth or whatever they're looking for has he been showing.
Hmm.
You know, especially this year, but throughout his time here.
Hmm.
I will say this though, and I think just smart GMing, so I think they do it. If they have no intention on signing him, if they don't think he is gonna be in their price range, move him.
Right.
get what you can,
Don't
right?
hold on to them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
right,
hold on to him. So
right.
I
That's a
think
good
we're
point.
smart enough as an organization to do that. So
Yeah,
I think he's a keeper. I think they feel he's a keeper,
right,
and I feel like if they don't, they will move him.
right. That's a good
So
point. That's if they can, though. They wait until the last, not wait until the last minute, but it's like another week to the trade deadline. If you can't trade them, now you're running that risk.
but I don't think I don't think there's a problem trading him. I don't think
No, in terms
he's.
of getting what you want.
I
Because look
mean,
at his contract though. It's only 1.8 million.
yeah, that's why his value is going to be draft capital. Honestly, it's
Mhm.
not going to be a player of equal or more value.
Mhm.
Not with the money he makes and what he provides. You're not going to find that at
Mhm.
1.8 or whatever it is he's making. So
Mhm.
a move is going to be a draft move, and it's kind of like again it's getting something, something
Right.
rather than nothing. So I don't think the price, you can't really go out there shopping him and trying to pick what you want. It's gonna be like pick the best choice of the options out there. But as far as
Mhm.
moving them, I think it's easy. I think at least half the league would take on his contract for the rest of the
Mhm.
year and give up 2 million in whatever it is, salary, player, anything of the sort.
Yeah, I think the fan base is I don't know if the fan base is split on Mitch. I think most people are okay re-signing Mitch. Um, but to me, I would need to see more, but we just don't have time. We have to make the decision. That's just it. We have to make a decision. And I don't know, Mitch.
What would your guess be? Are we
My
moving him
guess
by
would
the by the
my guess
deadline?
my guess would be that we pay him because, like somebody said in the chat, shout out to the chat, very active, that you can easily move that contract. So I would say sign him. The only thing is that his um his stock can rise or his stock cannot rise. Because listen, I can't tell you how many times I've seen players ascend and then level off.
Hmm.
And I think that's what a front office really has to think about when a trade comes in. Is this guy going to continue on this trajectory? If he is, he's going to be really good. We should hold on to him. But what if he levels off? This guy is already there. We know what we can get in him. And that's what the front office is, I think, contemplates anytime a trade comes across the table. Yeah.
I agree. He's definitely another tough one. Another guy that I think is absolutely off the table, and this is not just like me saying he's off the table, is Grimes. I think he's in Tibbs's favorite five whatever you call it. Like
Hmm.
that's Tibbs' guy right now. I think he could do no wrong. Not saying that he has done much
Hmm.
wrong, but I think he came in, he earned his spot. He fought for it. It took a little bit of time. It wasn't
Hmm.
given to him, and he said it, and I agree. I appreciate that route.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think that is a great thing for a guy like Cam to see.
Hmm.
Um, hey,
Hmm.
it's not gonna be given to you. Come in and practice every day and fight for that spot. Make Tibbs have to make a tough decision, and then once he makes the decision, because you're gonna get some burn here and there somewhere.
Hmm.
Produce, 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 produce. Defense
Hmm.
first.
Yeah. 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 Listen, to me, well, we talking to Grimes. I had another comment on
Go ahead,
Mitch,
Mitch.
but
Go ahead.
I
We
mean,
jump
just
back and
that
forth.
we seeing I some of this motivation is he know his contract is coming up, and that's fine. And I think that's fine as well. I think some of it is also he's getting healthy as well. But throwing in them little offensive moves is almost like it's almost like a tease to the front office. Like, yo, y'all sitting back there sleeping on me. Let me give y'all a little taste of what I've been working on. So I think it might be a little bit of that too.
Yeah, I think he's been itching to show some of this though. I don't think it's like, all right, I've been working on this for a whole 3 years, and I think he's just been itching to show it, and especially the two moves. The first one a few weeks ago when he
Hmm.
I mean it's three of them actually. The behind the back dribble
Hmm.
after a steal, and then the lead pass ahead for a fast break. Um,
Hmm.
I forget what that first move he did, but I was super excited about it
Right,
after the
right,
game.
right.
Like, did you see that? And then last game, the little two dribbles and the finger roll.
Hmm.
It's all about being aggressive. It's all about saying, you know what, I see it. Let me do it, because he's had those opportunities throughout,
Right,
and that was one of the things that kind of pissed me off, because that's when you start becoming a liability. If you know
right.
Ben Simmons thing, if they know you're not a threat from there, they
Hmm.
can they can focus on the other four guys and
Hmm.
become
Hmm.
somewhat of a liability. But I
Right.
love to see that, and I think that's my guy. I'm gonna go definitely keep Mitch, and then I
I'm
do have
I'm,
a
I'm gonna keep
question.
Mitch with a caveat that his contract is easy to trade.
I do have a question about Grimes though.
Hmm.
Seeing the improvement that we've seen from quickly year one to year two, and then getting that point guard duty, and maybe not becoming the main point guard
Hmm.
or the go-to point guard, but knowing that he's capable. Do you think Grimes could move into a similar position where maybe he has to work on it all summer or whatever the case, but he could end up, and I'm not saying this year, I'm talking more about next year and the future, and obviously him working on it, but he could make the same kind of stride that quickly did, from two guard to, hey, this guy could play some point guard, and there's some fans out there
Hmm.
that want
Hmm.
quickly wants quickly in the starting unit as a point guard.
Hmm.
I'm not going to go that far, but do
Right.
you think he can make the same type of stride into
Grimes.
being, into the point?
I think he could, but this is the thing with Grimes, and I'm gonna have to look at his body type more today. He just seems so thick. Like when I think about Grimes, I think about this is a thick guy. And when I think about the point guards, I just think, and maybe I'm just, I'll look at him again tonight. When I think of the point guards, I don't. Well, Lowry was a thick,
Darren
point guard.
Williams.
Darren Williams, yes, exactly. Okay, all right then, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's all about the dribble. It's all about his handle, but it's
Hmm.
also about the vision. So Quickly has played point guard. Sometimes you can't tell. In I think it was high school or what have you. I don't know if Grimes has ever did
I think he
because I
has.
think it's more, he has.
I think
Okay,
so. I'm pretty sure he has.
okay, because I think it's more than just being able to bring the ball up and initiate the offense. It's about being able to like have some vision.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I seen that, but and I think in high school he played point. I think his first year in college he played point. I think when he transferred schools,
Hmm.
and his role changed into
Hmm.
what the coach said, using his strengths, is where he more became into a two guard or a 3 and D guy,
Hmm.
and subsequently he did thrive.
Yeah,
And
Manchild said he was a point guard in high school, 5 star. Wow.
yeah, I don't know if he's number one, but top three, maybe top
Hmm.
five for sure. Recruit out of his draft class.
Hmm.
So the ability is there. The question for me was, because they tried that first year of college, underperformed, you know,
Hmm.
going from a top five recruit to kind of like, oh man, like this mad guy's better than you, and then coming back in a new school, new role, he kind of thrived, and that's similar to the role he's playing here.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't want to mess that up. So it's not about moving him to the point. I'm just wondering because I think
Mhm,
the handle that would change his whole dynamic of his game, and for him to
mhm,
be the best guy that he could become, he's
mhm.
gonna have to work on that handle, and then
Right.
multiple position player where he could play 1, 2, or 3. I think
Mhm,
that broadens the scope. But yeah, definitely a
mhm,
keeper. I just think that's the main thing he needs to work on. Ball handling first, not
mhm.
necessarily playmaking. That's gonna have to be worked on. But if he could get his handle up to where he could bring the ball up and play some point guard duties, he could be a point guard that is a shooter. You know what I mean? And that's just
Right.
as dangerous, and a defender, obviously. That's
Right.
just as
Right.
dangerous as a point guard who's a facilitator who
Right.
is not necessarily known as a shooter.
Yeah, and he would need to because he's not like a fast guy. So if you're not that fast, your dribble better be on point because that's how you're going to be able to get around people with the stutters and
Hmm.
to be able to create angles for yourself. But this is what I'll say about Grimes. As much as I really like him, and I really like him, he's one of my favorite Knicks to watch right now. I think he's a high floor guy.
Hmm.
I don't know if he's a high ceiling guy. I don't know if he's a high ceiling guy. It remains to be seen. But I think and there's nothing wrong with, for me, I prefer high floor guys. I prefer guys, if they never become an all star, you know what you're going to get from that guy game in and game out. You can go get some all stars. I think the Knicks have a lot of players that you don't really know what you're going to get from game to game.
Here's the scary thing. I might get killed for it, but
Hmm.
the reason I say he is a high ceiling guy.
Hmm.
All right, his highest ceiling for me personally is a Clay Thompson. So it depends on how you feel, how you view Clay Thompson. Um, as a player, you know what I mean. Like no one's gonna disregard his shooting ability, his defense ability. But do you consider him a 1A? Do you consider him a superstar? Or is it the role that he was in with the guys he was with as a
Right.
collective that made him the
Hmm.
the name he's become?
Right. Listen. Oh, go ahead. No, no. Sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
so I mean,
Hmm.
so I don't know if I agree or disagree because it really
Hmm.
depends on, again, to me, a ceiling for him is a Clay Thompson guy. So
That's
if you
high.
do no, I mean, but that's the ceiling. That's I'm not. He may not reach the ceiling. You know he you know
I don't see that type of ceiling for him. But listen, I hate putting limits on young guys. I don't know what he's going to um I don't know what he's going to become. The thing about Clay now is Clay can also, I've seen, put the ball on the floor now, get to the rack.
he's he's grown
He's
into it
not
though.
he's grown into that. He's not just shooting it. So Grimes just seems a little slow.
Put it like
Like a
this:
little
would
go
you
ahead.
would you would you let Clay Thompson run the point?
Nah,
No.
nah, nah.
You see, but that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
so it's like Clay, elite shooter,
Hmm.
elite defense, decent enough passer, decent
Yeah.
enough
Put it on. Yeah.
dribbler. Put it on the
Right.
floor. Like that's not his game. You're not going to see him do that. For 5 out of 10 possessions, put it on the
Right.
floor. You're not but he has the ability to do it. I really think
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that's a good ceiling. Like
But can
I
I
don't
just
think
add
I don't think it's
something?
far fetched or,
Right.
or like crazy. That
Can I add something? I don't want to confuse similar skill set
hmm
to uh superstar, elite player, whatever, because you can have a similar skill set, but what sets a player apart is their ability to do it over and over and over and to do
hmm
it consistently and to you for you to know that they're going to do it and still can't do anything about it. Because when
hmm
you think about, for those who go back, it might be, I don't know if this is a young group. Um, um, Ron Harper had the same skill set as Michael Jordan. Skill set, in terms of being able to shoot the three, being able to defend, being able to. They were world apart. because Michael Jordan did it on a higher level, game in and game out, and you knew what he was going to do, and you couldn't do anything about it. So when we talk about Grimes' skill set being similar to Klay Thompson, I mean, excuse me, his ceiling being similar to Klay, his skill set may be similar, but can he do it like Klay did it? You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that's the
No,
difference. Does that
it,
make sense?
it makes 100%
Okay.
sense. But on the flip side,
Hmm.
is Clay anywhere else? Does Clay become Clay on a different roster? Because I think the circumstances
Remains
have a
to be
lot
seen.
ha,
It
ha,
remains to be seen. Yeah.
has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Not even saying he wouldn't be as good on another team. I don't want to say today because he's coming back from the injury. Let's say the injury never happened.
Hmm.
I wouldn't say that he wouldn't be as good as he was on a different team, but I don't know if
Hmm.
he becomes the player
Yeah.
he became
Right.
if he started on a different team. So
That's a
I
good
think that
point.
has
That's a
a
good point.
huge and then again, some will argue that he's not a superstar. He's a elite role player. You know what I mean? Like, or even all star level. But does
Hmm.
he become an all star on a different team?
Right.
Not a 73 win team. Not a, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No,
so
no doubt. No
uh,
doubt. Yeah. Yeah. I think the team you play on, look at Draymond. Is Draymond on the Knicks? Is Draymond on another team? So
yeah,
I do get it.
he might be a cancer on another team.
Yeah.
Uh, Look at Rondo in this place, and then at this place, and then this place.
Yeah.
Like some
Yeah.
teams, some it works with some players and some teams, and
Hmm.
sometimes it's a turn off and it's a distraction, and other teammates aren't built for it. But I
Right.
really do like Grimes. I think
I like
and
him.
when I say that ceiling, I'm not projecting. I'm just saying
Right.
if he becomes the best player that he could become, I think
That's
I
what it
think it
is.
could be very similar to
Yeah.
Clay. Because that
Yeah.
defense
Definitely.
is tenacious,
Yeah.
has the
Somebody
quick
made the
release.
point. Do you agree that because I said that this was in the chat that he was a better defender than RJ and I think it was Isaiah who said RJ is a better defender. Then Isaiah made the point that you know RJ is defending starters and Grimes is defending uh, the bench, bench players. Um, do you think that? Do you think that makes a difference?
I, I mean, if it was, I don't think that's a true statement because I think Grimes does come in and have to play defense on some starters at times, so he's not just guarding uh like backup players and that such. He's actually been pulled in to guard
Hmm.
some of
Hmm.
the starters on the other team. I think RJ has a height advantage defensively, but as far as
Hmm.
defender, like pound for pound,
Hmm.
Grimes is a better defender, and I think that's easy, easy.
I think he's a better defender as well, but I mean, I thought that was a fair point. I'll take a more of a look at it. I'll take more of a look at it. I got to look at a lot of things this tonight.
And it's crazy because I didn't see it in Grimes immediately. A lot of people were saying it immediately, and I was like, all right, I gotta watch this kid. I gotta watch him a little bit more. I've been
Hmm.
really watching him. He's got it defensively. He's got it
Yeah.
defensively, and I think that's why Tibbs is pushing him to when you open shoot, like because he knows if that opens up, you know, if the shot stays consistent, we got a player on our hand. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
We got a guy that could really develop into something. It don't
Hmm.
have to be an all star. Don't got to be a
Right.
you know what I mean? It don't have to be a elite guy. But if he's elite at defense and shooting,
Right. I'm good.
that
I'm
that's
good.
that's a player in this league. That
Right.
that's a
Right.
that's an asset that people want, that people will find value in. And I'm not talking about trading him, but you
Hmm.
know, value is an asset. Like
Yeah.
having value is an asset. Now you can maneuver some things.
Right. Yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And the thing about it is, the more you bring up your value, not that you're untradeable, but it's going to take a lot for the team to trade you. It's going to take more. You're not just going to be coming with some second round draft picks or something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the only thing that stops Grimes defensively is maybe his height, and then that's at times because he makes it difficult for you to get to the rim anyway.
Hmm.
So if it's hard for you to get to the rim, he's doing his job before you get there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Now, if
yeah.
he can't block the shot at the rim, as long as he's making it tough for you to get there, that's
Hmm.
a good job defensively. Everybody has
Hmm.
those shortcomings, and
Right.
his might be his height. I think he's not short,
Hmm.
but he's still not the tallest guy either. But
Right.
yeah, I think I really like that guy. I think he's
Yeah.
has a long term future, if not with
Right.
us, definitely in this
Right.
league.
Ally
Any other
wise,
players? Good.
oh, sorry. Ally wise, I think they just play different positions. RJ can guard Kawhi because RJ is 6'7". Grimes is 6'4", and I would still put him on. I would still put him on Kawhi. You know, so I think they just play different positions. RJ is definitely taller. But go ahead. What were you asking?
Any other guys on the roster you want to do a quick
Um,
trade them or keep them on? I mean, I
we
think you
didn't,
kind
right?
of covered all the young guys. I think you're okay with trading the Noels, the
Yeah, the
Fourniers,
Burks,
obviously the
the
Burks,
yeah,
the
yeah, the I'm okay. I'm okay with that. And even Randall, but they would have to get something, for him. And I think, if his value is low, what are you giving him up for? You know what I mean? Right now. So
and another, just to touch on that, another
yeah,
reason
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think that's the right move, the right we're in the process of changing the culture, right?
Hmm.
We've seen a little bit of success. Why do this now, right? And then expect to be able to bring guys in the future and keep them.
Tony, go
Everything's
ahead.
based off performance. It's true, but shouldn't everyone be entitled for a down whatever, whether it's game, year, week, like opportunity to bounce back?
Right. See, I think when a lot of the fans, when we talk about trading Randall, I think we only looking at it from the team perspective.
Hmm.
How are we going to look on the floor? How's this going to impact us on the floor? Um, will check out the crossover. We talked about Obi, but we're going to talk about him more on the crossover at 5:30. Is Obi ready to start? So we'll be over there in a bit. They're not looking at the big picture in terms of changing the organization, changing the organizational culture. We are only 1+ years into doing that, and I think trading a coach, firing a coach, which is something people have been talking about, or trading Randall, it just I just feel like you got to go through the tough times. That an organization is not going to change overnight, and every time it gets tough, you can't be like, "Oh, we're gonna reset.
Yeah,
Are we
yeah.
gonna start over?" Who's to say we not in this same
Hmm.
predicament 2 years ago? Can RJ be a number one? Do we need to put somebody around him? When is Obi gonna pop? When is you know what I mean? As an organization, these questions will always face you. And resetting is not going to get you out of that conundrum. It's going to come up again and again and again. And it does in every organization. The Knicks have to find a way through this, right? So I'm not sure resetting is the answer. Um, but if they do choose to do it, just know these same questions are going to come up again.
I agree. My guy Eric says Grimes is a better Courtney Lee, not Clay. He's not Clay. A ceiling is someplace you haven't reached yet. But
Right.
the fact that you're admitting that he's a better Courtney Lee, that
I liked
means
Courtney Lee.
I did too. But that shows his
Yeah.
floor is already he's already surpassed
Yeah. Yeah.
the floor of a Courtney Lee. So,
Right.
but I agree. He's not Clay yet.
Mm-mm.
I think he can reach those heights, especially if, like when I was talking about him playing point and all that, if he doesn't have to learn all that and he could
Mm-hmm.
just and we have a real legit point guard. I think a point guard I
Changes
swear
everything.
it
Changes
changes
everything.
every
It
single
does.
thing.
It does.
Like for every player on our team, that's one less responsibility that they have. And if it's an elite guy or even just an elite decision maker, he don't even have to be elite at any particular category except decision making.
Right.
That
Just yeah.
changes
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
changes everything for this team. Um, my last topic though,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna go in depth on your show, but
On our
oh,
show,
or our show. That's right. That's right.
the crossover. The
It's
crossover.
Wednesday. That's right. Oh, Obi Toppin is doing the dunk contest again. So I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to mention that. Get your thoughts on it. I'll give my thoughts on it. Do you think he could win? I don't know if you know the other contestants. Let me
I
see
don't
if I
know the
could
other
look that up
contestants,
real quick.
but I think he can. And actually, we're going to talk about this on our show. Not just this, we're going to talk about no Knicks being named to the Rising Stars roster. We'll talk about that on the
Mm,
crossover as well. So Obi is the only participant in All Star Weekend on the dunk contest. Um, I don't care who's in it. I think Obi has an opportunity to win. He's but people. I remember when the people brought out players brought out the between the leg dunk in the dunk contest. He's
mm-mm.
doing it in a game on the regular, you know. So I think he's gonna have a great opportunity to do it. I think the creativity and playing to the crowd is you get points for that. So I think he has a very good chance. I did hear somebody else who was in it.
I gotta
Um,
hear it. We got
okay,
Jalen Green. We got
who's that?
Cole
Houston.
yep. Cole Anthony,
Mhm.
Juan Toscano Anderson. I don't know who
From
that
Golden
is.
State. From Golden State, yeah.
He's a rookie.
He
I
and
never
he might be a rookie or second year
a
player.
second year player. Okay.
Hmm.
I don't think. Yeah, I think he has a good chance. I think he has a good chance, and I think the experience of it last year might give him the edge. To be honest, it
Right.
would be nice to to get a winner in this participant.
Hmm.
and, and my sick brain just thought when you said we have no other participants
Hmm.
in the All Star event. I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
that means Obi's traded. That means Obi's gone because we won't have any. But that's yeah. I'll save that for the for our show after this coming up. But that is sad that we have no rising stars
Yeah.
when
No rising
when
stars
clear when
between Grimes, Obi, IQ. Those three were eligible.
yeah I think that is an atrocity. But we'll talk about it. We'll get into
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I think we're good. I think give us a little 8 minute break to
Yep.
before we jump on our show the crossover. As always, shout out to the chat, Queen. Always
Mhm.
appreciate you
Definitely.
joining me. Broke the hour
Definitely.
barrier, which is always cool. Not too
Hmm.
far over, and go Knicks. Yo, Black is time, and I'll see y'all next week. We'll be back to Monday, I believe. I'm not sure if there's a game, but I
Yeah. And
think
the
we'll be.
Queen's Court is going to be on Sunday actually because I
Oh,
got a prior engagement on Monday, so it'll be on Sunday.
okay. What you know what time?
I put some flyers out. I'm available morning, afternoon, or evening. So I'm gonna set that time probably by Thursday. Just
All right.
trying to see what people can do.
Shoot me a text
Okay.
and I'll check my schedule tomorrow and I'll let you know when I'm available. You don't have
Okay.
to base it on me, but
Okay.
if it happens to fall in that time frame,
Okay.
we'll do that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Peace, family.
Peace, fam. Peace.